Okay, on today's episode of Studio Knowledge, I'm going to pose a question. When do you track the drums? Now don't skip this video. The answer might surprise you. Okay, and the answer is first, right? That's what we're all thinking. And traditionally, in most cases, you're right. But here's something to consider. Most times, you lay the drums down first, okay? That's gonna be the backbone, it's the timing, it's gonna set the stage for all the other recordings, okay? And it's really hard to overdub later, right? Okay, so what happens if you can't do that? I mean, there have been instances where uh, drumming had to be postponed from the actual drummer because of a broken arm or some other scheduling conflict or whatever it may be. It happens, right? Okay, so why would you want to do the drums anytime other than right at the beginning? Well, one, in order to pull this off, to record the drums at any other time than the beginning, one is that the drummer needs to be able to play to a click track, okay? And again, we've talked about click tracks. It doesn't have to be the metronome, click, 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 click. It can be a drum loop. But there are times where a band will use a drum sampling software like TuneTrack or Addictive Drums or something to that caliber, and everything is perfectly in time, and the rest of the band will play to that, and the singer will sing, and then at the very end, the drummer will come and play. Okay, now what is the advantage to that? I know that seems crazy because this is how it's always been done, right? One of the big advantages to having the drums go last is that the drums are one of the most dynamic instruments in the band. Okay, obviously vocals being the most. Guitars, especially if they're heavily distorted, the distortion is going to naturally compress that sound anyway. Yes, you can still play dynamically, and bass is going to be compressed as well. And again, that can be played very dynamically as well. But the drums, if you have everything, already pretty much done, even the vocalist and has sung on it, they're going to be able to really feel more, I don't want to say more inspired, but they're going to be able to feel the music more and maybe lay into the parts that need to be really big and bombastic and be able to be more sensitive. It's one of the things that I recommend from time to time. Again, you got to have a drummer that can play and be in time. And, if they miss a certain beat, that can be fixed in editing. I'm not saying line everything up to a grid, but we live in a day where bands aren't being recorded all at the same time. All the members in the same room and being played, and you kind of lose that energy when you're doing scratch tracks. You have the singer and they're kind of singing half-heartedly, and the guitarist and bassist are kind of playing, and the drummer's just supposed to in the room by himself and play this great performance. And it can be done. I'm not saying it can't be done. I mean, more times than not, it is done. I'm just saying it's something to consider. And I've seen this as an example. I've seen this happen. I remember Motion City Soundtrack, they had to do that because their drummer broke his arm. And they didn't want to have another session player come in and play his parts. So he played last. And then even Adam Willard, when they did the first Angel and Airwaves record, We Don't Need to Whisper, Adam played last. He did his kind of stamp of approval at the end, did his thing. So it does happen, and even in bigger records. So it's just something to consider. It doesn't have to be first. I mean, I recommend doing first, but it's just something to consider as well, to have a nice big dynamic performance. And plenty of drummers can do it. Just go to YouTube and type in drum cover and insert a song. There are plenty of drummers who can play over the top of it, nearly perfect, sound just as good, and you're not going to lose any of the timing or the feel of the song. It can be done. Okay? So I hope this helps. Good luck, and we'll talk again soon.